My name is Stacey and welcome to the Heartmoor podcast. This is a podcast about knitting and crochet, anything else I might sort of be working on. Actually, I've got a little bit of embroidery today. It's not been started. But yeah, I've got a little bit of embroidery, and yeah. So welcome back if you have if you're viewed before, and if you're a new viewer, welcome. Today is Saturday the 5th of February. It's the first time I've podcast this year, I think my last podcast was just before New Year. So yeah, first podcast this year. My husband has taken my 3 daughters out for a walk somewhere to give me some peace, which is lovely. And yeah, it's a bit of a grey day. It was blue skies when I woke up this morning, and I was feeling really I think it just puts you in like that kind of fresh spring mood. But it's clouded over now. Because I'm in the southwest of England, in Devon, and it's just been a bit cloudy lately. Cloudy, overcast, it's the same thing, isn't it? Sort of cold winds, but average sort of 10-degree temperatures. Just a bit rubbish, really. I'd rather it was either like really cold, snow, ice, frost, or warm enough that, you know, you can just wear a jumper and not have to wear a coat. I like one or the other. I don't like this in between weather. Where can you find me? So you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Heartmoor, and I have an email address which is heartmoorpodcast@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, or you want to chat, or just say hello, probably Instagram, or in the comments below, or email address. I'm fairly flexible, but I'm not on Ravelry as often. I use it more for patterns than I do for chatting. So yeah, I have some finished objects, some exciting finished objects. Sorry if I'm playing with my hair, it's because I washed it this morning, and because I can see myself, I'm trying to make sure it dries not too frizzy. So if I touch my hair, I'm really sorry. It's really irritating. I know that. I'm just trying to brush out all the frizz. Yes, I have some finished objects. I have some works in progress, and I have a little bit of acquisitions, and then maybe a little bit of exciting knit along news at the end, and a little bit of live chat, I suppose. If I look, my stuff's all here, so I'm not very good at staring in one place. I like to look around. So, but that's where all my stuff is. So when I look there, that's where I'm looking. So let's start with the finished objects. There is one I forgot to show you in the last podcast that I finished just after Christmas, and this is my Slouchy beanie. It's got hairs on it. Slouchy beanie by Inga of Knitting Traditions. It's her pattern. Here it is. It's a really sort of just lightweight, simple beanie. There's like, you know, it doesn't, that's not going to show you anything, is it? You can't feel how light it is by me throwing it in the air. It's a really lightweight beanie. You can wear it, let me put it on. So you can just, God, my fringe is too long. I can't see. Hang on. Let me sort my fringe out. I can't actually see. Yeah, so you can wear it sort of, oh my God, my fringe out the way. Yeah, you wear it as a simple beanie like that, which is really nice. It really hugs the head. Or you can, take down the beanie and just wear it sort of slouched, I suppose. I'm not really a slouchy person. I prefer it as a tight beanie. But yeah, and this is, sort myself out, can't see. This is in the colourway, it's really beautiful, Lapis by Pixie Yarn. It's not blocked or anything. I don't don't block everything. So that's probably why it's a little bit rumpled. And I have been wearing it because I finished it just after Christmas. So yeah, it's really, I really wanted like this bright electric blue for a hat. I like to make things that you can't buy in the shops, that you could probably buy. Someone's probably going to say, oh, I've got one the same that I bought in a shop. Anyway, things that I can't find in the shops. I like to make things that I can't find in the shops. Things that suit. I think that's the joy of knitting, isn't it? You make something that's for you, specific for you, something that you want. You can tailor it. You can pick the colours, pick the texture, pick the fabric. You can pick everything, anything you want when you're making for yourself. And I think that's what's really what I love about knitting, crochet and sewing and things like that, is that you can really tailor it for what you want. So yeah, I wanted a bright blue hat. This is a bright blue hat. That's pretty much true to colour. It is really, really bright blue. Yeah, nothing much to say though. It's a really quick and easy pattern. I didn't change anything. Yeah, first finished object. Throw it over there. The next one is, and I have finished my stripes sweater. Stripes by Andrea Mowry. It's a really, really well written pattern. I really enjoyed her pattern. So this looks huge on camera. I swear, I'm not that big. Oh my gosh, it looks enormous. Anyway, here it is. I will try and put in a picture of me wearing it so you can see it's not as big as it looks quite on camera. I haven't blocked it yet. I have sewn in the ends. I've left them inside until I've blocked it, but I haven't blocked it yet. But I'm going to call it finished because I want to block it and wear it this week, and I don't know when I'll podcast again. So yes, here it is, the striped sweater by Andrea Mowry. You can see the rib is rolling up where I haven't blocked it. I love the way this yarn is knitted up. I love the way the stripes look. So this is Locatelli yarn by Istex. I just used 3 colours. They haven't got names. Have I got the bag I used? Let me have a look. If I can find the ball bands, I can show you the colour numbers. I think that's how they do it. So what have we got? So it's, yeah, it's, God, I can't do this properly. It is Locatelli, and there we go. This one is that colour. What's that one? 0953. I guess this one's exactly the same. Yeah. We'll try and find a different one. Got hundreds of ball bands in here. I haven't quite measured out exactly what I've used, but all my projects are on Ravelry. I do update all my projects on Ravelry, and once I've sort of worked out how many balls I've used, I will update it on there. This is another one of the colourways, and I think that's the same one. That's the same one. That's the same one. Oh my god! Oh, there it is. There it is. and that colourway. So yeah, that's the 3 colours I used. It is a really rustic toothy yarn. I don't like it around my neck, but you can see like the halo. I love it. Yeah, I don't wear it around my neck. I do wear it around my neck. I wear a shirt underneath. I don't mind it on my arms. I'm fine. I don't find it itchy, but I do find it a little bit itchy just around my neck. So I like to wear something underneath. There's a story behind this, which I'm sure if you've watched previous podcasts, you'll know. So first of all, I'll just tell you any changes I made. So I only did 3 decreases on the arms, and then I knitted them straight, and then did a rapid decrease at the cuff, because I like my arms quite baggy. And that's the only change I made. The neck is really wide, so I think someone gave me a tip that just to go round it with a slip stitch. So I I don't know if I want to do that or not. I haven't decided. I'm going to see how it blocks after washing. But actually, I wore a shirt under it and I really liked it with the collar, and this quite wide with the collar. So I can't decide now whether I'm going to change the neck or not. But it did come out quite wide. So if I was ever to knit this again, I would change the neck. And you may have, if you've watched previous podcasts, you'll know that I made a huge boo-boo, mistake, error, if you don't know what a boo-boo is. On the back, somehow I increased for the wrong size. So I was following the pattern on my phone. I couldn't remember what size I was doing. So I followed the increases somewhere along the line and I did it for the wrong size. I knit this is in size 4. Yeah, the 4th size. So somewhere along the line I must have done increases for the 5th size or something like that. Anyway, when I came to split for the sleeves and to knit the body, I had way too many stitches. So I decided to sort of slowly decrease to get back to what I needed, but not slowly enough. And so on the back so where you've got this really beautiful, nice front jumper, on the back we have this big lump. I'm pretty sure I could fit a small animal in there, or maybe even a baby. I could wear this as the front, couldn't I? And you could, you know, anyway. Yeah, it's I'm trying. Oh my god, yeah. You know when you're reading a map and someone says, is it left or right? But the map's upside down and you're going in the opposite direction, and so your lefts are not your rights, they're the other way around. Or like when you're reversing in a car and you want to go right, but you have to turn the wheel left. I'm trying to work out which way I need to turn it to do that, to show you. I completely lost it. There we go. So you can see that there's this big lump on the back. I don't think it's going to block out, but it'll just be a jumper I wear around the house. I'm going to try and block it a little bit to try and ease that lump, but it looks really nice when I wear it around the house, and you know, my family don't care about the big lump on the back. So that is my stripes sweater. All the details with what needles I used, I think are on my Ravelry project page. I always go up a needle size. I'm quite a tight knitter, so I generally always go up at least half, if not a full needle size when I'm knitting. Yeah, so I'm going to block that today or tomorrow and see what happens with the back. I will attempt to wear it on a future podcast so you can actually see what happened. But yeah, so that is my stripes. Next finished object is another garment. I love garment knitting. This is the Weekender by Andrea Mowry again. Her patterns are just really easy, and I'm sure there's lots of other designers out there that have really nice, easy patterns. But I really liked this design, so I thought I'd give it a go. Yeah, let me show you it first, which is the front and which is the back. It's got a split hem, so it's really easy to work out which is the front and the back. So that's the front. So here we go. It's not blocked again, but this is the Weekender. I love it. Absolutely love it. So without sort of giving too much away, it's got a split hem at the bottom. I have sewn the ends in, but I haven't cut them off yet until I've blocked it. So yeah, it's got a split hem at the bottom, and then you knit it inside out because, you know, who wants to knit this much purl? Not me. But you knit it inside out. So this is the right way, but you knit it knitwise. It's got this really lovely sort of slip stitch detail down the front. So you knit it bottom up, which I've not done before because I'd only ever done one garment before. This is my second garment. So it's nice to do something a bit different. Oh no, what's happened there? I need scissors. Hang on. I've caught, when I've sewn in an end, I've caught something. Hang on. Let me just cut that because that's annoying. And it's pulling on it now. And I can't find out where it was. Where was it? There it is. Right, hang on. Let me sort out what I've done wrong. Okay. Sorted. Yeah, so you split for the sleeves. The sleeves are in stocking stitch the other way round, so the body of the sweater is in this lovely, is in the pearl texture, but the arm is in the knit texture. You've got this really nice sort of neck shoulder detail. I'll just open the shoulder out, so that's the neck, and you can see sort of down the top of the shoulder you've got this really nice sort of ridge and rib. The rib pattern goes all the way sort of from the neck sort of halfway down the arm. So it's that's really nice. I don't even know if you can see this properly. I will try and put in a picture here of Andrea Mowry wearing it. I haven't got any photos of me wearing it yet. I wanted to do that when it was blocked. So pattern. Oh no, let's talk yarn. No, let's do pattern. So I only made I only made a couple of changes, not much really. I didn't do any decreases on the arms again, so I just knit straight and then did a rapid decrease on the cuff. So it creates this really nice big baggy arm, which I really like. And on the cuffs themselves, so you can tell I'm still learning. So the idea is that you would knit a couple of inches, probably a bit more than this. Should have been a couple of inches long. I did knit one of the cuffs a couple of inches long. Then you do a tubular bind off. So you do a couple of setup rows and then you do the tubular bind off. I did my setup rows, no problem. Got to doing the bind off and I thought, I don't know what I did wrong, but something was wrong, because had I kitchen knitted it together, I would have ended up closing the arm and there would have been nowhere for my hand to go. And I was like, what have I done? So I couldn't work out what I'd done wrong at all. So I ripped it back, but I'm absolutely rubbish at ripping back. So I ended up ripping it back. I ripped it back about this far, picked up stitches, hair in my mouth, didn't drop any. Yeah, I'm just not very good at picking up stitches. I feel quite nervous about it. Luckily, because this is quite a 100% wool, the stitches don't sort of slip and slide too much like they do on a superwash merino. But yeah, so I ripped it back and I just did a basic, I don't even know what the bind off is called, but just where you slip one over the other, and I just did that really loosely. And I actually really like the arms. It's a really nice length. It comes to just here on me. They just sit there really nicely. They don't cinch in, because I haven't done that. I didn't go down a needle size for the cuff. That's the other thing I didn't do. And that's mainly, I did on the ribbing on the base and I did on the ribbing on the neck. I went down a needle size, but on the cuff, I didn't have circular needles small enough in the right size. And I'm not going to go and buy a pair of needles just for a cuff. So I kept it at the size I was knitting, and that's fine because I've got a really nice loose cuff now. Yeah, so I lost patience with the cuff and I just wanted this finished, so I couldn't be bothered with the tubular bind off, so I just did this. And that's fine because I love it. I knitted this in 6mm needles, so slightly more than she recommends. I think she recommends maybe 5 or 5.5, but I knitted it in 6mm. And I knitted the third size. And yeah, so it's really, really, it's really lovely. So yarn, you might be able to tell that it's marled. So I held 2 strands together to create this effect. And I used woolly knit cones. So I used these 2 cones. So this really lovely navy, and then this sort of oatmeal-y colour. And these 2 yarns together created this really, really wonderful marled fabric, which I really, really love. I should probably try and put it on, shouldn't I? Maybe in a minute. Anyway, but So here's where I get a little confused, and this is where I'm really inexperienced at this kind of thing. So these cones, when I bought them, they were 500-gram cones. I have knitted an entire sweater, an entire garment, and I weighed these. I mean, there doesn't look to be much gone, does there? You can see at the bottom. I weighed these yesterday and they weigh 400 grams. And I realised the cone inside obviously has a weight to it. So I Googled cone weights, and maybe 30 grams at most for the cone. If anyone knows exactly how much a woolly knit cone weighs, that would be great if you could tell me down below. Then I know exactly how much I've got left. But I think I've got quite a lot left. Like, say the cones at most weigh 50 grams. That means I've got 350 left, which means I've only used 150 grams for this. So yeah, I'm not very good at the math side of things. I expected to not have anywhere near as much as this left, and I think I've easily got enough here to do another garment. But yeah, if anyone does know how much these cones weigh, please tell me, and then I'll know exactly what I've got left, and then I'll know how much I've got to knit another garment. But this is bizarre that this doesn't knit very much. This doesn't seem to weigh very much at all. I don't know if that's just because I used 6mm needles, but there's a lot of fabric here. There's a lot to it. It's not cropped. Let me put it on. Let me put those cones down. It's not cropped or anything. Take off my nice Primark jumper, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not cropped or anything like that. So I'm really confused as to how much this jumper must weigh and why it doesn't weigh anywhere near what I thought it would, because it's got quite a bit of, it's got some positive ease. Oh, you're not going to be able to see properly because I'm sat on the couch. Let me just push you away a little bit. And let me kneel up on the couch. Yeah, so it's a really, really good fit around the neck, on the arms. Look, it comes to just sort of here. I think that'll stretch a little bit in blocking, but yeah, it comes to sort of there on the arms. And you can see the split hem. It's got, you know, a little bit of positive ease. It's not really tight. Yeah. So really, really, really happy with this. Let me sit back down. Do you know what? I'll just leave this on. I really like it. It's 100% wool, the woolly knit cones. Let me bring you in a bit closer again. 100% wool, but it's not itchy. It's not like the Let Lopi at all. I can comfortably wear this around my neck. Don't feel anything on my arms. It's so lightweight. Yeah, so I'm going to block it and see what happens. I love this shoulder detail and this detail down the front. Yeah, so that is, I'm wearing it. I was going to try and look for it then. This is my third finished object and probably one I'm the most happy with. Really like this. So now I've got a bit of a garment bug. So I'm planning my next. Yes. So, works in progress. Let me just take a drink. Hang on. I got squash. I don't often drink hot drinks. I've just got a nice squash. Yeah, so works in progress. I've got my notes down here. So what should we start with? Oh yes, let's start with this. This is a very, very, very almost finished project. So I hadn't started this. Oh, that's where that is. Found something. I hadn't started this when I last podcasted. But I had talked about it, so I wanted to. I've made a Litmus cowl before, really beautiful one. Last year I made it in the Rainbow Chronicle minis from Les Family Yarns. but I wanted to get a head start on my Christmas knitting for next year. So I'm just trying to, seem to have yarns everywhere. I wanted to make a head start on my Christmas knitting for next year. So I had my Beehive Yarns Advent from 2020, and I've already used half of it in my Simple Fade Shawl by Blue Fern Yarns, and I had the other half, and the other half was the colours that that aren't my sort of colours. So reds, greens, browns, yellows, oranges, all those sorts of things. They're not really my colours. So I didn't really want to make anything for myself. So I thought I would make my mother-in-law her 2022 Christmas present, nice and early. So I have knitted her a Litmus cowl using the minis from the Beehive Yarns Advent from 2020. Half of the minis. The minis in the colours I don't like. And this is what I have got. I mean, I know I don't really like the colours, but it's gorgeous. I started off with this beautiful red, and I've gone through. Did I start at red? Yeah, I did. Started off with this beautiful red, goes through all these beautiful oranges, browns, greens, more browns, and back in, and then I repeated it. And the idea is that, so I've got the two ends now ready to Kitchener together. That's why it's still sat in the box. Oh, it's 100 stitches to Kitchener. So yes, I've got this ready to Kitchener. Once it's Kitchenered, it's finished. And then the idea is that you just wear it like a cowl. This one can go round twice. So this is just once, but I would be able to get it round twice once I've Kitchenered it together. But yeah, so this is my first Christmas present for next year. So not quite a finished object. I finished the knitting of it. I just need to Kitchener the ends together before it's fully finished, and I can pack it up and put it away for next year. But as much as I don't like these, as much as I don't wear these colours, this is beautiful. I really, really love the fade in this and the way that the colours work together. So that Beehive Yarn Advent is gorgeous. And I've still got quite a bit left, actually. I've still got at least this size, probably at least 10 grams left of each mini. So yeah, I might go into a blanket or something. Oh, I know what it's going to go into, and I'll show you that, and there's another whip later. Yes, so that is that. And I knit those on 2.75 circular, 2.75 or 3.75. You know, and it's just not written on. Actually, I think these might be 3.75 needles. Yes, and that's being stored in my Beehive Yarn Advent box. So that's where that's being stored. So that will be hopefully very finished very, very soon. My next work in progress is, so you might remember if from previous podcasts back in beginning of November, me and my friend Cherie from the Ollie and Bella podcast went to Stitch Fest at Newton Abbot, a yarn festival, and while we were there, we have very different tastes in yarn. So Cherie likes the autumnal colours, and I like the opposite, so blues, pinks, purples. I don't even know if they're aligned to a season, but the opposite to autumnals. But we decided that we would buy a skein of DK yarn together and knit ourselves a matching pair of Stitch Fest socks. So this is the yarn, really, really beautiful. So we sort of compromised, like it's got pinks and purples, but there are little hints of orange in there for Cherie. And it's really, really beautiful. And this is by Siobhan's Crafts, and the colourway is Plum Pudding, and it's a DK 75/25, so perfect for DK socks. And I'm using the DK vanilla sock pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. Do some slight changes to it, but let me just take this out of its DPN cozy. Oh, I've just thrown a needle on the floor. Hang on, if I don't pick it up now, I never will. Oh my God, it's miles away. Oh, needle. Right, so this is the sock, how it's knitting up so far. It's coming across a little bit brighter on camera. So I follow the DK pattern by Crazy Sock Lady, but I do 15 rounds for my cuff and I do 30 rounds for my leg, and then I just knit it for me. It's got a slip stitch heel. I've just finished the gusset stitches, so this is the first sock, and I'm just on to yeah, knitting the foot. What's really interesting is, so I'll talk about this more at the end, but last week me and Cherie went up to Flock, which is like a social knitting gathering hosted by Claire and John of Bird Street UK Yarns. And on the way up, so my husband took the day off work and he dropped me and Cherie up. So we drove up from, we're in Plymouth, we drove up to Bristol. It's about a 2.5 hour drive, 2 hours. And on the way up, we decided to start our socks. I'm not a very good car knitter. I get quite car sick, so that's why not much is done. So we have started our Stitch Fest socks, and it's really, really beautiful. But what was interesting is we were both knitting on 3.5 needles. I'm using DPNs. I think Cherie was using the circular. But my gauge must be a lot tighter than hers. I must be a much tighter knitter. So this is how mine looks. But Cherie's was about 5-6 mil wider. Oh, sorry, it's right in front of my face. Cherie's was about 5 or 6 mils wider than mine. And it knitted up completely differently. Mine's, you can see stripes on mine, but Cherie's was completely different. I'm sure she'll show it if she does a podcast or on Instagram. But yeah, they knitted up completely differently. The yarn looks really different. And it just goes to show you how important gauge is when you're making, I mean, not in a sock, but if you were going to use a yarn like this in a sweater or something like that, it would just show how important the gauge can be, because it looks completely differently in my sock to Cherie's sock. But yeah, so this is my first Stitch Fest sock. So that is that one, and that's the only pair of socks I've got going at the moment. I've been sort of, yeah, knitting all the garments, so I haven't been so interested in socks. And this is just in a little bag I made myself, just a little check drawstring with little owls. See, little owls on the top, and then just some ribbon, red ribbon, drawstring it together. I am not a sewer, but it functions, and that's all I'm really interested in. It works, it does the job. Next work in progress, looking at my notes. Oh yes, so when we went up to Stitch Fest, I wanted another Stitch Fest. When we went up to Flock last week, I decided I wanted another project to take with me. So I had the socks, but I wanted something else. And I was thinking about all the minis. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. This is a bag from Lana Boo. Just one more row. And I was thinking about all the minis I've got left over. So I said I knitted the Litmus cowl in my Rainbow Chronicle minis from Lay Family Yarns. And I have about, I don't know, that's about the size of the balls I've got left. So about 5 gram balls. Where's that gone? There it is. So I've got quite a lot of, you're not going to be able to see, I'm rubbish at this kind of thing. Got quite a lot of minis in there. Oh my word. Let me pick that one up as well. You're just seeing a lot of the, I've gone onto the couch. You're seeing a lot of the top of my head this time. Really sorry. So pick that up. Anyway, let's get that back in there. Take a breath, slow down. So I decided to use these for something, and I have decided to knit the, what's it called? The Northeasterly Blanket, but the crochet version by Katy Stevens. There is a knit version, which was the original pattern, and Katy does credit that in her crochet pattern, but she's just translated it to a crochet version. So I have only just started, and obviously it's curling up because it's not blocked. But my plan is to just literally dig my hand in, pick out a first mini, and yeah, so I've started which way around is the front? Probably the front, doesn't really matter. The Crochet Northeasterly, and that's the first mini I've used, and then I've just started on my second. This is going to be a long-term project. I've got no interest in finishing this quickly. It's just when I want something to work on. Crochet comes, that's how it looks. I'm using a size, can I read that, 3.5 mil crochet hook. I'm just using a basic metal one. Yeah, 3.5 mil crochet hook. And so I have a thought that, so I've got all these rainbow minis, that they might do one strip. So if you know how I don't know if you know what the Northeasterly looks like, but you basically knit up and then you would start another one and you'd knit up and then you'd join them together, or you join as you go. I'm not quite sure, I haven't looked at that yet, but I think you join as you go. So then you join on and you do another strip as long as you want it. So I was thinking, so these rainbow minis, I will do all in one strip. And then in the next one, I might use my beehive yarn advents leftovers and do another whole strip in an advent. So each strip is like an advent or a particular colourway by one dyer, not colourway, but theme, you know, by one dyer. So this will be my rainbow strip. Then I'll have a strip with like my beehive yarn minis. I've got my minis from Suzanne at Green Lambkin Yarns that I haven't used from last year's, so I might do a strip in hers. And then what's the other advent I had that year? Oh, Vicky Brown Designs. I've got a few scraps left over from hers, and do that in another strip. Yeah, and just see what happens. Obviously, if I don't have enough of one yarn compared to another, then I will just make it up with extra minis. But that is the plan. So that is my Crochet Northeasterly. So that's just going to be worked on as and when, really long-term project. My next work in progress is another crochet project, and this is in a bag, let me show you, that my lovely friend Cherie gave me in our little autumn swap, and it's by Bertie and Poppet, and there's their label, and it's got beautiful flowery inside. So I think I'm going to have to, this project's going to have to go into a bigger bag though soon. So I have decided, last year I did the Rainbow Chronicles monthly club. This year I'm doing Shannon from Blue Fern Yarns. She's doing a palette sort of monthly club. And every month she releases an image, and then the yarns that she dyes are based on the image. You can buy it blind, so when she first puts the listing up, you don't know what the yarns look like. You've seen the image, but you don't know the yarns. But then she releases the yarns and she will then release them again. So you can buy it, you can choose. You can either buy it blind or you can buy it knowing what the yarns look like. I've been buying it blind so far because I'm really happy with her colours. And I've gone for the DK version. And I am making myself a crochet blanket. I'm not following a pattern. I've sort of done my own design at the moment, and I don't really know how it's going to look when it's finished. So let me show you so far. So this was January's colours, and really, really beautiful. So like a couple of like cream colours. If you go onto her Instagram page, you can see what these were like the image this was based off. It's like a lovely cream, a grey, like an beigey colour, another sort of cream, and then another lighter grey. So this is my January panel. That's what I'm calling it, the panel. And this is just crocheted. And I'm going to make every month into a panel like this. And then somehow I'm going to join them all together. I don't know if I'm just going to join them like so. So it'll be 12 months, so 6 panels at the bottom and 6 panels at the top, or whether I'm going to try and sort of turn them round so they make like a squarey kind of, I don't know, haven't decided yet. But that's my January panel, and this is the February one. I really like these colours. They're not colours I would wear, as you know, but really, really beautiful. So there's this one here. This is my favourite actually. It's a really beautiful grey, but with, look at all those different colours in it, like yellows and greens and beige and all that. So that's really beautiful. Then it goes into like this dark sort of mauvey grey, then this pale green and a pink and a darker green. So far I have 2 panels. And you can't see me, I know that, but together they look really beautiful. So they'll go next to each other, and then it'll be like this really big faded sort of beautiful blanket, and I love it. So yeah, I might sort of, obviously it's going to take a year because it's a 12-month club, but come December, if it's really nice, I might write it up or something. But so that is another long-term blanket project. I have ordered marches, so when they arrive, I'm not waiting for March to knit them up, I'm just crochet them up. I'm just doing it as soon as they come, otherwise it just gets forgotten, and it doesn't take long at all. Like, this crochets up in no time. So really pleased with that. And that is, well, that's all my active whips, but I have been trying to work through all my old ones. And so I found this just now in the Beehive Yarns box. I wondered where it had gone. And this is a whip I really want to get finished before the next podcast. So these are my my cup of tea knits. I started these a long time ago, October 2020. So I just never got around to finishing them. But I really, really love them. Yeah, you can see this beautiful pattern sort of that goes down the middle. Let me put it on for you and you'll be able to see it better. So I finished the first one. Where is it? There it is. So they're just really nice knits. I'm trying to, oh my goodness, I can't get it straight. And then this beautiful pattern, you see that all down the front. So these are the My Cup of Tea mitts. I can't remember who they're by, I'm afraid, because I've only just found them and I didn't have a chance to look it up, but I'll pop everything in the description box below. And the second one I think I've just done like the first repeat or 2 repeats of the pattern. So yeah, it won't take long to finish them. And the yarn I'm using is, ooh, £20 note. And that might, I remember finding that last year. Is that like my secret £20 note? That's exciting. I could buy a hank of yarn with that. A skein yarn. Anyway, so this is the yarn I'm using, and it is by Shannon of Blue Fern Yarns, and it's called Asa, and it's a really beautiful fuchsia sort of pink colourway. And yeah, so this is something that I want to get finished. So didn't go on the floor this time. Yeah, I think I'm going to be working on this week. So another project I really want to get finished before the next podcast. And this is being held in my lovely Moo and Mouse bag by the lovely Emma. There is her little stamp, Moo and Mouse. And it's just perfect for socks or mittens or, yeah, something like that. So, I've got a really sore neck. When I turn around, it's hurting. That is all the knitting stuff. I have some future plans. So because I've cast off a few things, I don't have a lot on my needles at the moment. So I want to make another garment. And I'm thinking of the marble mount by Locatelli. It's just been released. I'll try and put a picture up here. Move over. Ooh, picture. And it's really, it's in 4-ply. And it's a really sort of fitted, I'm not going to call it a sweater because it looks quite thin. It almost just looks like a long sleeve top, but it's really beautiful. And I think I have enough of this yarn to knit it. I hope I have enough of this yarn to knit it. If not, I might use the rest of my woolly knit cone actually. So I had some yarn for Christmas, which I showed you. I was very lucky. My mother-in-law bought me some linen quill, Pearl Soho linen quill, and I was going to make a half and half wrap. But I don't know if I want to anymore. It's one of those things, isn't it? Everyone's doing it and you're like, I must make it, I must make it. Bought the yarn and now I'm thinking, do I really want it? Will I wear it? I don't know. Where is it? So I've got 3 skeins of this colour, which is, and this is the Pearl Soho linen quill, and this is colour oatmeal grey. It's all coming out everywhere. I've got 3 skeins of this, and I've got 3 skeins of this. And this is the, I think it's the chestnut red. Yes, the chestnut red. It's coming out a little bit brighter on screen. It is a little bit more muted. But I'm wondering, with 3 skeins of this red, if I can make that hokey Locatelli top, the marble mount. I think I can just about get away with it. So this is, so 100 grams is 439 yards. And if I make the 3rd size, I think I can just about do it. So I'm going to do that. I think that's the next garment that I'm going to knit up, and I think it'll look really pretty in this beautiful red. It's designed to be, you can see it on the image that Hokey Locatelli uses, that it's designed to be sort of a tight fitting top with there's no positive ease in it. So I think I'll have enough yarn to do that, and size 3 I think would be about right for me. So that's exciting. So I want to get this caked up and cast on maybe today or tomorrow. So that's my next project. And then I'll have 3 skeins of the oatmeal to do something with as well. So that's quite exciting. I'm just gonna put it away. Sorry for the rustling. Pop that away for a minute. And then I went up to my next project. So when I was at Flock last week, which is the knitting social gathering, which I'll just talk a little bit more about at the end, but I bought some yarn from Bird Street UK. So I'll show you this one first, because obviously Claire and John hosted the event, so they had a little stall up where you could buy some of their yarn. So I bought this one. That's their Bird Street yarn. That's their well, maybe they're not UK anymore, maybe it's just Bird Street yarn. So Bird Street yarn, and I bought this one. This is called Dark Side, and it's a DK. It's a 75/25, and this is just for my next pair of DK socks, because I love DK socks. And yeah, so that's my next pair of DK socks. It's really, really lovely blues and purples and pinks and reds and greys, and yeah, all my favourite colours in one skein. So I'm going to do that. But I also bought 2 skeins of this beauty. So this is Bird Street yarn, and this is also DK. This is called Figgy, and it's 75/25 again. And it's a really beautiful dark purple. It's coming up slightly brighter. That's probably, that colour there is probably a reflection of it. It's not brown, it is definitely purple. Yeah. So I bought 2 skeins of this, and this is going to be an Oslo hat by Petiteknit. I've been wanting one of those for a while. Again, just another simple beanie, but something a bit thicker than my Slouchy beanie from Knitting Traditions. And the Oslo hat will be a bit thicker. So I've got 2 skeins of DK, and I want to cast that on this week as well. So that's exciting, and then that's it. I'm not gonna overload myself with projects. So I will have the mitts that I need to finish, my socks, ongoing blanket projects don't count. I will hopefully have my marble mount, top, sweater, and my Oslo hat. So that'll be 4 active non-blanket whips. Do you think that's all right, isn't it? That's not too many, I don't think. Yes, so that's those. And then while I was there was another yarn dyer there as well, and that was no, that's not her. Oh, where's her card gone? Oh, I haven't got the card with me, but it was fly dyed, and she's on Instagram, fly dyed, and she does, her yarn was beautiful. But I did buy some stitch markers from her. She was selling those as well. So I've got, oh, it's a really holographic background. Doesn't look well on camera, does it? I don't know what that's supposed to be. It looks like something a bit rude to me, but I'm sure it isn't. But when I use it, anyway, you don't want to know what I think that looks like. Yeah, so a couple of silver ones. Moving on quickly to the next subject. Some gold ones, really beautiful, like a honeycomb one, a little gold leaf, and a little like a sunflower head. And I bought some snips. So snip, snip, snip. We all know how snips work. I didn't need to demonstrate. Yes, I bought those from Fly Dyed, who was also at Flock. And then I was lucky enough to win a giveaway on Instagram from the lovely Red Robin yarns. Oh, and look at that beautiful little robin stitch marker that's attached. So that's Red Robin yarns, and that's where you can find her. And this is, oh, it says hand dyed by Alan and Natalie. And this is what I won. Look at this. So, oh, isn't that's so beautiful. Purples and pinks and this bright pink mini. And this is the Vivian sock set, and it's 75/25 4-ply. And I cannot wait to make a pair of socks out of that. So I'm hoping to save these for spring. In the Easter holidays, we're going away for a few days, so I plan to cast these on and take these with me in the Easter holidays. And that'll be a fabulous pair of socks. Love these. So thank you very much, Alan and Natalie. That was a lovely giveaway prize, and I was very grateful to win that. And my only other sort of acquisition is something I've never done before. So it's embroidery. So it's stepping away really from my knitting and crochet. But I decided to sort of branch out. I love the look of embroidery. I think it's beautiful, and there are so many applications for it. So, you know, clothing, bags, cushions, just beautiful artwork, and so many different ways it can be applied. So I really want to get into some embroidery. And I heard of Nikki Franklin, the Stitchery. So I decided to order one of her sort of little kits off her website. And I have gone for, let me take it out, I've gone for her September kit, which is called Autumn Festival. But it's this beautiful little camping scene. So you've got this tent, and you've got the bushes and the tree, and then a little scarecrow, a fire, and then some sort of girls sitting around the fire. And it just reminded me of my girls. I've got 3, there's only 2 on here, but they love camping and they go with their dad every year. I don't like it, so I don't go. But they go camping every year with James, and I just thought this was really, really beautiful. However, this is the first time I've ever done embroidery, and I kind of maybe just didn't read it properly and thought it would come with everything I needed. It does. It comes with so it comes with full instructions, which is amazing, and I'm quite competent at Googling how to do a stitch. I've got no issues with that. And it comes with all the fabric that you need, and it comes with all the things that you need, but it doesn't come with a hoop or any needles. So I need to get myself a hoop and some embroidery needles, and then start having a look at the stitches, Googling some of these stitches that I need, and then I can start making it. So that's another sort of project that I want to get done. Again, no rush for that. Yeah, just that's something, and I think I'm gonna frame that as artwork, and put that up somewhere on the wall in the house somewhere. So yes, venturing into embroidery, and that is Sherry Iris. I've been watching her vloggy podcasts whatever she calls them. And she's been doing a lot of embroidery and free motion stitching and things like that, slow stitching, and it just looks so beautiful. So I've decided to give it a go and plunge in. So I just need to get some extra bits and I'm ready to rock and roll with that one. And that is all the crafty talk. If you have any questions or you want to ask me anything, feel free to do so. But yeah, so a little bit of life chatter. What's going on? So last week, yes, it's been a month, hasn't it? Ages. So last weekend I went to Flock with my friend Cherie from the Ollie and Bella podcast, and my husband took the day off and he drove us up, dropped us off at Bristol, and then he went out with the girls and did the M Shed Museum and walked around the docks with them for a few hours. And yeah, it was the first time I'd met a lot of people that I've only sort of seen on Instagram. So obviously like Claire and John from Bird Street Yarn, and the lovely Becky from Bex Creates, and Gaynor from Tales of Cuckoo Land, and who else? There was loads. I think Hannah was there from Yarnia Designs. I'm trying to think who was on my table, and I met some new friends, and Sarah was there from Sarah One Daisy. So yes, it was really, really nice to actually physically see people. And it was just, we were just sitting, knitting, chatting. There was cake, drinks. John and Claire hosted a couple of games. Obviously the chance to buy some yarn if you wanted to. But it was just really, it's just a really nice social event. So I will definitely be going to another one. Yeah, so that was really nice last weekend. And as I say, in the car on the way up and back, me and Cherie were doing a good chat. Oh, that's what I forgot to talk about, the make-along, the knit-along. So, mentioned it before in the last podcast, but me and Cherie from Ollie and Bella will be hosting a knit-along in March. It's called the Spring Equinox. Get it? Get it? I get it. The Spring Equinox, and we will be launching our designer. So we've collaborated with a sock designer who's it's going to be a knit along for a pair of socks, Equinox, and the idea is from 1st to the end of March to knit a pair of socks. We have collaborated with a sock designer who's designed us a pattern, and we'll be sharing some sneak peeks of who that is, and the pattern will be launched I think on the 13th of February. So keep your eyes peeled on Instagram, and because that's where we'll sort of do all the launching and stuff. There'll be Ravelry forums, so I'll be hosting, I think I'm going to host the chatter thread, and Cherie's going to host the finished objects thread. There'll be some prizes, and yeah, so that's exciting. We've got a little logo designed, and yes, so keep your eyes peeled for the Equinox knit along. Very exciting. I know what yarn I'm going to use. I just got to cake it up. I've seen the pattern and it's stunning. So I mean, you don't have to knit the pattern. You can knit anything you like, I think. Yes, you can. You can knit anything you like. But we just thought it'd be really nice to have a design for it. So I'm going to knit that. So that's in my future as well. Just while I was thinking of Cherie, I knew I should have said that earlier. So what else? Life stuff. Work has been really busy. So, but I only work from 9:30 till 2:30. I work in a school. So I'm sort of support staff in a school. So that's, although it's busy, I still come home and have plenty of time to sort of chill out and knit and do things with the girls. It was my dad's 70th on the 9th of January. And we all went out for dinner and breakfast the next day, so that was really nice. If you've watched previous podcasts, you might know that my mum had been really poorly last year, but she came out. She's doing really well. The tube, she's got one tube left in her stomach, and I think that's coming out soon. But the nurses have, and she's not got dressings on her wounds anymore, and she's eating normally. She's been out walking. They've come around here a few times, so brilliant news. Hopefully she's still losing weight, which was the whole point. You can go back and look at previous podcasts. I think I talk about it more in the one I did at the end of July. So that's all good. Mum's all on the road to recovery now. Yes, so my dad's now 70. That makes, it just feels really old. It's like, I remember when my grandparents like were that age. So when like your parents get to that age, it feels a little scary. I mean, my granddad died at 75, and yeah, it feels a little, I don't know, but I'm sure my dad's healthy and fit, and he goes to plenty of medical checks and stuff, so well, you never know, do you? But anyway, that's rather morbid. Let's move on. What else? I'm going to the theatre on Monday night. I'm going to see Da Vinci Code. I've not read the book or seen the film. I like to go blind. I like to not know what I'm seeing if I can, so I'm really excited for that. I've been reading quite a few good books lately. If you want to follow me on Goodreads, I am Stacey Parker or Stacey J. Lew, STACEYJLEW on Goodreads. And I set a target. So last year I read quite a lot of books. I read about 170 books last year. So I said to myself this year, I'm going to rein it in a bit. I want to do a bit more knitting. And I'm only going to read 50 books. And I've read 20 in January. I think I'm up to 20. So I haven't really reined it back. But I'm a speed reader. So I've read quite a lot of books. I'm reading a series at the moment called the Fair Isle Trilogy. It's fantasy, fairy-based series. So if that's your thing, yeah, follow me on Goodreads. And what else? No, I don't think there's much else. I've got a few theatre trips this month because everything's been postponed from COVID and everything just seems to be happening in February. So I've got Da Vinci Code. I'm going to see Footloose. I've got Bed Knobs and Broomsticks with the kids. And I'm going to see Jack D with my husband. So that's a busy February. And my mum's birthday, and yeah, lots happening in February. For a short month, I've got lots happening. So I think that's it. So I will wish you all a good February. I'll be back again in March. If you haven't already, it would be lovely if you could like and subscribe. I'm not far off 500 on Instagram, and I'm not far off 500 on here. I'm about the same, around 460 followers on Instagram and around 460 on here. So it'd be lovely to get to 500. So yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, otherwise have a good February, and I will see you next month. Bye.